What's good, YouTube? My name's Connor, and this is Gaimon's Island, a One Piece YouTube channel that's going to be packed full of theories and other One Piece content you'll love, so be sure to let me know what you think with a like, and subscribe to keep your treasure boxes filled and safe from bandits. In my last video, I introduced my theory about the hidden power system in One Piece, soul power, where we learn that the breath or frequency of a soul can be manipulated when near death or the experience after near death. In this video, though, I'm going to present my theory on how soul power is related to the double iris eyes we see characters with in One Piece, and how this theory can be used to prove that Mihawk more than likely has future sight. First, let's establish what different eyes can mean in One Piece. Most characters have a base set of eyes that we see them with 9 times out of 10. And when characters are knocked out, they usually lose their pupils and show a blank eye, to show that nobody's home mentally, or, in Cavendish and Hakuba's case, to show they've been taken over, or even in Big Mom's case, when she went on a rampage in Elbaf. But also, very rarely, we see that characters can also temporarily, and in Mihawk's case permanently, display a double iris. So is this just a cool design choice? Or is there more to it? Well, obviously, I believe there's more to it after doing a little bit more research on this. To start with, though, I want to bring up the scene in Dressrosa where Cavendish is struggling to take his body back from Hakuba after Hakuba blitzes Dellinger and then goes after Robin. Here, Cavendish switches back and forth with Hakuba, alternating between his regular eyes and his no-pupil Hakuba eyes, until eventually both appear at the same time and are both using Cavendish's eyes at the same time, displaying a double iris. And as an aside here, I also believe that Hakuba is a second soul existing in Cavendish's body. I believe this because we've learned from my last video that the soul is essentially who a person is at their core. So an alter ego here most definitely means that there's another soul present, as Hakuba is nothing like Cavendish. So from this, we can conclude that when two souls are using the same set of eyes at the same time, that this equals a double iris. And in my next example, we can see this rule extends to others. In the scene where Zunisha is under attack by Jack's fleet, Zunisha calls out to Momo and apparently Luffy as well for some reason, using Voice of All Things, and begs Momo to give the order for Zunisha to deal with Jack before Zunisha capsizes. The problem here is, Momo doesn't really know why Zunisha's freaking out all of a sudden, as he's currently on Zunisha's back and can't see what the issue is. Zunisha then forcibly puts an image in Momo's mind of Jack attacking, and the camera zooms in slowly on Zunisha's eye as he's looking directly at Jack. Here, Oda makes it very obvious that Zunisha is showing a double iris eye, which makes sense since two souls, Momo and Zunisha, are seeing out of the same set of eyes. We know this isn't in fact how Zunisha's eyes look all the time, too, because once the vision fades from Momo's mind and he issues the order for Zunisha to make Jack go away, the camera returns to Zunisha's eyes, which are revealed as much larger regular-looking eyes instead of the double iris eye we saw earlier. What this does is it confirms the rule that we learned from the Cavendish example, and shows that it can be used to share vision remotely in a similar way to the Rinnegan from Naruto. And one more possible example we see here of this vision sharing paired with a command to destroy is when Imu had Lelouch destroyed. In this scene, we see Imu looking down on a map that displays the island of Lelouch. Imu then crosses the island out, and in the next panel we see a large creature or ship, shadow, above Lelouch. In the panel following that, Imu's double iris is shown, and then Lelouch is annihilated from above. I believe this scene follows an identical process to what happened with Zunisha and Momo when they dealt with Jack, and that this could potentially confirm Imu as an ancient weapon user, Uranus. Somehow the giant shadow above Lelouch knew which island to take out. And since we know that the double iris eye can share vision from our last two examples, it would make sense that Imu is looking down on the map, and possibly feeding coordinates, then issuing an order to destroy the island, as that's kind of the defined capability of an ancient weapon. So, one more example of characters with double irises are the Minks. This one caught me off guard one day when I was rereading Wano from the beginning, and as I scrolled through the chapters, I saw Nekomamushi and Inarashi clearly displaying double iris eyes in Sulong form. I was pretty surprised by this, so I looked around to see if any other Minks displayed these eyes too, and lo and behold, they did. Only in Sulong, at least. And as we learned from the previous examples, the reason why this eye appears is because two souls are sharing vision through one set of eyes. Much like with Cavendish and Hakuba, I believe this could mean that the Minks have a second soul they can unlock in Sulong, as they're a strange instance of this kind of hybrid between a human and an animal. The minks refer to humans as lesser minks, who are really just monkey minks but with less hair, as if to say that humans have cast off their more primitive animalistic ancestors while the minks have retained them within. In Whole Cake Island, when Kara transforms into Sulong for the first time for us, Jinbei explains that Sulong is when a mink reawakens their wilder nature that remains deep within their memories, this wilder nature being their inner wild animal. Jinbei then goes on to explain that a mink and Sulong can lose themselves and attack at others at random, much like when Hakuba went after Robin even though Cavendish had no intention of doing so. Minks must undergo training in order to control this form, to be able to hang out in that space where their battle senses are sharpened, but they're still in control. Now that we've established that double iris eyes have the ability to share vision between two souls, let's talk about why Mihawk probably has future sight. So aside from Mihawk being a top tier character in One Piece, and that justifying this assumption on its own, there's a scene in Marineford where something very strange happens that nobody really seems to want to dive deeper into. In this scene, Luffy's trying to save Ace still and can't seem to break away from Mihawk. Luffy backs off Mihawk for a moment after dodging Mihawk's Link sword plunge attack and then winds up for a jet bazooka. In this moment, clear emphasis is placed on Mihawk's eye before a vision passes through Luffy's mind of Mihawk lopping off Luffy's arms. The base elements to look at here are that we have a double iris eye involved, a sudden vision that hasn't come true yet in Luffy's mind, and then a sober decision to cancel the attack, which Mihawk then commends Luffy for, saying that he could in fact be calm here. Where future sight enters the chat, though, is with Katakuri's explanation of the state of mind one has to be in order to use future sight, saying that the color of observation can't be utilized if you're not calm. Here we should take note of Katakuri's fighting style. He activates future sight, sees the next attack that Luffy will use, and then makes a decision to then alter that future in his favor, which is exactly why Luffy still has both his arms. What I'd like to point out is that Luffy was only able to be calm in this moment because he saw the future, but throughout the entire battle in Marineford, Luffy is frantically trying to save Ace. This is why I don't believe this was some accidental use of future sight, like when he accidentally uses Conqueror's Haki later on. With Conqueror's Haki, Luffy is somewhat of a natural, as he's always had a strong will, and accidental use of Conqueror's Haki is just an emphasized way of him exercising his will over the executioners to try and stop them from finishing Ace off. When Luffy learned future sight in his battle with Katakuri, though, Luffy had to learn to stay calm in the heat of a death battle, as he's always been more of a simple-minded hothead that acts first and sometimes thinks second. And one more counterpoint I'd like to make is that I don't believe this is some kind of genjutsu-like ability, because we've literally never seen any instance of that in One Piece outside of this scene, and no other double iris users have displayed that power yet. Alright, so to wrap this all up, what we know about the double iris eyes are that they're clearly linked to vision sharing between two souls through one set of eyes at a time. And given this fact, and the fact that we know that Luffy saw a vision of a possible future in the middle of a fight with a double iris user, I'm going to put my money on Mihawk having future sight for now. So, what do you think? Am I reaching here, or do you agree that Hawkeye probably has future sight? Please comment your thoughts below, and if you enjoyed this content, let me know with a thumbs up, and subscribe if you want to see more non-mainstream theories like this one in the future. Now for my next video, I'm going to be covering Black Blades, Zone Devil Fruits and Inanimate Objects, and Reincarnating God Souls. But again, thanks for watching, and be easy, YouTube.